Hello everybody. Today we will be doing Usaco Guide, Simulation Problem, Circular Barn. Being a fan of contemporary architecture, Farmer John has built a new barn in the shape of a perfect circle. Inside, the barn consists of a ring of N rooms numbered clockwise from 1 to N around the perimeter of the barn. Each room has doors to its two neighboring rooms, and also a door opening to the exterior of the barn. Farmer John wants exactly R cows to end up in each room I. To herd the cows into the barn in an orderly fashion, he plans to unlock the exterior door of a single room, allowing the cows to enter through that door. Each cow then walks clockwise through the rooms until she reaches a suitable destination. Farmer John wants to unlock the exterior door that will cause his cows to collectively walk a minimum total amount of distance. Please determine the minimum total distance his cows will need to walk if he chooses the best such door to unlock. The distance walked by a single cow is the number of interior doors through which she passes. And then for the input format, it's just the first line contains N, and then each N lines contains R1 through Rn. And then our output is the minimum distance traveled. So, this problem is pretty easy. All you just need to recognize is how the circular barn works, and then you can solve it from there. So let's go through the base case. So if Farmer John decides to open door number 1, which we can see in the sample is 4 over here, then each cow will start from here. Then they'll move on to room 7, then room 8, then room 6, then room 4. So to calculate the total distance that they traveled, first we can see the first 7 cows will go through one door over here, right? So if they go through one door over here, it's just 7 times 1. Now, 8 cows will go through doors, the first door and the second door. So then it'll be 8 times 2. Then 6 cows will go through the first door, the second door, and then the third door. So then it'll be 6 times 3. And then for the last 4 cows will go through 4 different doors, and then their total distance would be 4 times 4. So once we add them up, we'll just see it's 7 plus 16 plus 18 plus 16, right? So this is how you calculate the total distance, right? So this will be distance that the cows travel. And basically all we want to do is we just want to do this for every single room/door possibility, right? So then let's say they go through door/room 2, right? So first they'll start at 7, right? And then moving clockwise, they're going to go to room 8, then to 6, then to 4, and then they're going to loop all the way around. They're going to loop all the way around to the first door 4, right? And then we're just going to calculate it the same exact way, right? So 8 times 1, 6 times 2, 4 times 3, and then 4 times 4. And then what we'll get is 8 plus 12 plus 12 plus 16. Now, if you quickly do that, that should be 48, right? So this is basically all you have to do, and then you just have to keep track of the minimum distance for each room, and then you'll get the solution. So here's the code. So all this is doing is just getting input, and then this is just adding all these different rooms in a list. And then the reason we set minimum distance to infinity is because we want to keep track of the minimum, right? So we're going to be comparing it to a value that's greater. And if we set it to like an arbitrary number, let's say like 100, right? In some cases, the minimum distance might be greater than 100, right? So we can't actually use that as a value to compare with. That's why we set it to the greatest value possible for a Python compiler, which would just be float infinite. Right. And now this is the for loop that basically calculates all the different loops that we saw earlier. So this for I in range just goes through the entire list, right? So it starts at 4, 7, 8, 6, and then 4. And then what the inner for loop does is basically it calculates the relative position of all the other doors based on your current door. So let's say you start at door 1, right? So I would be 0. And then you have 4j in range, right? So j initially is at 0, right? So 0 plus 0, and then modulo 5 would just be 0, right? So then this value, total plus equals, will equal 0. Then when j iterates to 1, we'll have destination equal to I, which is 0, plus 1 modulo 5, which is 1, right? So then room 7 would be the first door after room 4, which makes sense, right? And then you just multiply like how many doors you went through, which is seen through j, and then you just multiply it by the amount of cows that will fit in that room, right? And then you just get the total. And then this just both for loops just do it for every single door. And then we just use Python's min function to get the minimum distance, and then we can see that, well, it does work. And then, yeah.